Hello everyone. In today's class, let us learn about electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions of phenol. Now, why aromatic? Because phenol is aromatic. Why electrophilic and substitution we need to understand. Now, substitution because there are hydrogen atoms here. Replacement of these hydrogen atoms by other groups of atoms or a single atom is nothing but substitution. Then why electrophilic? OH group is an electron donating group. Okay, it is electron donating due to plus R effect. Because of this, there is development of negative charge at ortho and para position. Now, because the negative charge is there, it should be attacked by which type of molecules? Molecules which have positive charge, and what are they called as? Electrophiles. Therefore, phenols undergo electrophilic substitution reactions. Some of the examples of electrophilic substitution reactions of phenol are very important ones are Riemer-Tiemann reaction, Kolbe's reaction, oxidation reduction, halogenation and nitration. Now let us look into Riemer-Tiemann reaction. So what happens in Riemer-Tiemann reaction? It leads to formation of salicylic aldehyde or salicylaldehyde. So we have phenol here. OH group is a reactive group. Therefore, I need to protect the OH group. How do I protect it? By reacting it with NaOH. This is acidic in nature. NaOH is base. Therefore, what should happen? There should be removal of water molecule. H2O is removed. So, what do I get? Benzene ring. Oxygen is present and Na comes inside. This molecule, sodium phenate, I am going to react it with CHCl3. What is CHCl3? It is chloroform, or what is its IUPAC name? Trichloromethane. Okay, this trichloromethane reacts with H, which is present here. So which kind of reaction? Substitution reaction. So one hydrogen from here, which is hidden in the benzene ring, and one chlorine from here goes out. So what do I get? HCl. So minus HCl. So what is left out? Sodium phenate, ONA, to which this position is free, to which CH, how many Cl are left out here? 2. So 2 Cl atoms comes inside. So we get this particular compound. I am going to take this particular compound ONA CHCl2, to which I am going to react it with 2 molecules of NaOH. NaOH. So NaCl is removed. Minus NaCl. How many? 2. So what we are left out with? We are left out with ONA, CH, OH and OH. I had told in the first video of mine, a carbon atom cannot have 2 OH groups attached to it. Therefore, there is elimination of water. So water is removed, minus H2O. So what do we get? ONA, and what is left out here? C, H and 1 oxygen. So we have got an aldehydic group, right? But I need to remove this sodium atom and replace it by H. What should I do? I should go for acidification. For example, I will take HCl. Okay, I will add an acid. So what will happen now? Sodium will go with Cl in the form of NaCl, giving you right? OH will come inside, OH and CHO. This is nothing but salicylaldehyde. It plays a very important role. It is used in manufacturing of aspirin tablets. Second important reaction is Kolb's reaction, wherein again we are converting phenol into salicylic acid. Now phenol, which is the reactive group in phenol? OH, very naughty group. So I need to protect this particular group. So react it with NaOH, OH and H go out in the form of H2O. So you end up with sodium phenate. Now I am going to pass carbon dioxide gas through sodium phenate. Now this being a gas, it will not easily dissolve in liquid. So we need to apply lot of pressure. So under 200 atmospheric pressure, what will happen? Carbon dioxide will dissolve in sodium phenate. So it undergoes a substitution reaction. Hydrogen from here goes out. So that hydrogen will replace sodium, forming OH, and COO will come inside, Na will come and sit here. So what do I get is sodium salt of salicylic acid, COONA. Sodium salt of salicylic acid is more stable than sodium salt of sodium phenate. Therefore, this gets exchanged, right? So here, what do I need for salicylic acid? I need to replace it by hydrogen atom. So what should I do? Go for acidification. Na will go with Cl in the form of NaCl. So we end up with C double bond O and OH, which comes from HCl. This is salicylic acid, which is also used in preparation of aspirin tablets. Reduction. Reduction of phenols give us benzene. So what is reduction? Addition of hydrogen, nascent hydrogen, or removal of oxygen is called as reduction. So how do I reduce phenol? By using zinc dust. Zinc dust, which acts as a reducing agent. I already said what is reducing agent? Something which adds hydrogen or removes oxygen. So I am going to remove oxygen here. So what is left out? Hydrogen. Hydrogen will come here, giving you benzene. Now why zinc dust? What do you mean by dust? Dust means powder. Why we have to take powdered zinc? Because we know that in powdered form the area available for reaction will be more. Therefore we make use of zinc powder or zinc dust. Oxidation. Oxidation of phenols give us benzoquinone. Okay, this is the structure of benzoquinone. So what is oxidation? Addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen is called as oxidation. How do you bring about oxidation? By using oxidizing agents like Na2Cr2O7 or concentrated H2SO4. So what happens here? These molecules will take away hydrogen, leaving behind oxygen. So there is formation of carbon-carbon double bond. Since we are using two very strong oxidizing agents, we get benzoquinone. We have C double bond O at two different positions. These are called as quinones. And it is attached to benzene, therefore benzoquinones. Titration of phenols can be studied under two headings. Reaction with dilute nitric acid and reaction with concentrated nitric acid. So during nitration, nitronium ion is formed. which is an electrophile, okay, which is having positive charge which will attack ortho and para positions which have negative charge. So I have phenol here. At ortho and para position we have negative charge. Nitric acid gives us nitronium ion. I am going to use dilute nitric acid. So NO2 group may attack either ortho position or para position. So we get two types of molecules, that is orthonitrophenol and yes, para-nitrophenol. Now once I carry out this particular reaction, I get two different compounds in the same beaker. Then I need to separate them. So to separate them, I have to depend on their boiling point. Now this molecule orthonitrophenol can be subjected to steam distillation and separated, and this is para-nitrophenol which remains back in the medium. What does it mean? Boiling point of orthonitrophenol is less compared to para-nitrophenol. Why is it this? Why is it like this? We need to understand. In orthonitrophenol, okay, again I am rewriting the structure here. There is formation of intramolecular hydrogen bond. Intramolecular hydrogen bonds. What do you mean by intra? Intra means within the molecule. So intramolecular hydrogen bonds means the bonds are formed within the molecules. In the beaker, large number of orthonitrophenols are present, wherein intramolecular hydrogen bonds are present, and we are unable to find any bonds here in between these two molecules. As a result, when you subject them to distillation, you need not separate these two molecules. They just get distilled very easily. Therefore, their boiling point is low. If I take para-nitrophenol, so I am going to write here structure of para-nitrophenol. OH is here, NO2 is here. Another molecule I shall write. OH is here, NO2 is on the other side. Correct? There is formation of hydrogen bonding between hydrogen and oxygen. So this kind of bonding is called intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So there is bond between two different molecules, n number of molecules. Again I have another molecule here. I will write NO2 OH here. Again bond is formed, hydrogen bond is formed. So I need to spend more energy to break these bonds. Therefore, the boiling point of para-nitrophenol is higher compared to that of orthonitrophenol. So they can be easily separated by which distillation? Steam distillation. Here you can also very well answer why boiling point of orthonitrophenol is less than that of para-nitrophenol. Let us learn halogenation of phenol. Phenol, when treated with bromine water. So what is bromine water? Bromine dissolved in water is passed through phenol. We get 2,4,6 tribromophenol, which is a white PPT. Now I want compounds wherein bromine is substituted either at ortho position or para position. I don't want it to be substituted at all the three positions. What should I do then? Then what I have to do? I have to reduce the reactivity of phenol. Why? Because it is highly reactive. So how do I reduce its reactivity? I have to treat it with bromine. But in place of water, I make use of carbon disulfide and reduce the temperature. Now what is the use of carbon disulfide? It is a non-polar solvent. What it does? It prevents the ionization of phenol. It means it prevents the removal of H from phenol, thus reducing its reactivity. And at low temperature we know lower the temperature, slower is the reaction. As a result, what happens in presence of carbon disulfide and lower temperature, bromination of phenol takes place, no doubt, but we get either orthobromophenol or parabromophenol.